So like the marketing pieces that you do.
Sorry, I
That's
forgot
okay.
I said I was recording this.
So then like the marketing that you do, is that relayed to your clients consistently? Yeah, perfect. Nick, what's yours?
Mine was all early in my career, was that I was a homosexual. I'm not joking.
I know.
My fellow homos, we work together, we stay together. So I started advertising to the gay community because, you know, find who your people are. And like you said, it makes it a lot easier.
For sure.
So that's how I set my feet in real estate.
Yeah.
And my dating pool expanded. It was great.
That's awesome. Who else? Sherry, you know yours.
It's historic,
Yeah.
you know, it has been historic, it's changing a little bit now, quite honestly, because it used to be like, I was knowledgeable about the historic districts and knowledgeable about the houses and I'd restore the houses and sit on the commission, that kind of thing. But a lot of people that are moving to the historic districts don't give a rat's ass about, you know, historic buildings now, so it's really, it's changing. So that kind of morphed into the concierge kind of thing, where it's like, well, I can tell you about where all the best downtown local eateries are and bookstores and all that. And about like mom and pop shops and that kind of thing. So I think it ties in with lifestyle. Like, I mean, for sure, like for me, it's lifestyle, downtown historic, living in the districts, and it goes the same, you know, gay. And so, you know, I think that some of that, it makes it somewhat easier, but as I get older, my life's changing, I don't know. It's curious as to what do I really want my brain to be at the future about.
Well, and I think once you figure out what the USP, which you guys, I had to Google that before, now I know what it meant, but what your USP is, then I think you can figure out how you're just going to consistently relay that to your clients. So like, if you don't know what that is, I would tell you to write that down and make that homework for you. Like truly sit down and figure out what is it that you are providing that other realtors or lenders are not providing, right? And everybody has it, you know, we all do the same thing. That's what I always say. There is not some secret sauce website out there that is going to bring you the clients. It literally comes down to you and you alone on how you present yourself to those around you. And then you've got to put that into communication. So the monthly thing that I do is a monthly newsletter. Now, there's multiple websites out there that you guys can use that can create a newsletter for you. I am not a firm believer in using those because I think part of you selling yourself consistently to your sphere is that it needs to be in your own words. Now, the caveat to that is it doesn't have to be everything in the newsletter from you because we don't have a bunch of time. So at least make part of it. Yeah.
What part of your newsletter do people respond to most often and most positively?
So for me, they love updates on my family. I mean, out of all the things, they love updates on my family. And for me, I think it's because I've created this narrative that my children are crazy. And so they enjoy reading the crazy about my kids and then they respond to it, right? So for me, that's what they respond most to. And then writing style, again. Oh, questions over on Zoom? Was somebody saying something? No? Okay. Writing style. You are your brand. So you have to find your voice and be consistent throughout all the communication vehicles. So I'm going to show you what my newsletter looks like. So I use, it's called Flowdesk. And Flowdesk is where I go to create the newsletter, right? So I like to create things. I'm big on things matching and blending and having a brand, like that's my jam. I love that. So I go in and I create it, right? So it's simply like, hey, welcome to 2022. And you'll be able to see, let me put something here. So I can scroll down. I'm not gonna change it. Anyway, like it's a picture of me. You can have it fill in your client's information. Super easy to upload all of your clients into here. And then again, put it into your own words. So like I say here, like, I know, another newsletter to hit your email box, but I promise I won't bore you with the same old, same old. And you just have to get your tone. And I think if anybody were to follow me on Instagram or Facebook, how I'm talking to you right now is how I talk in here, and it's how I talk on those channels. So they're gonna get to know how you say things. I can't scroll down. Is it here? Oh,
So
there we
is
go.
that Flowdesk does a program similar to like your MailChimp?
MailChimp, yeah. I found MailChimp to be super clunky for me, so tech is not my jam, you guys. I was not blessed with that. Flowdesk was just a lot easier for me to navigate, but you can use MailChimp, you can use whatever you want.
Similar.
Yep, similar, yeah. So just my information here, and then the bottom of mine always has this. So it's 3 resources that they can click on. So it's a monthly homeowner checklist that I created in Canva. And it says, hey, for January, change your filter. Check your batteries in your smoke detector. Now's the time that we're gonna dust our baseboards, things like that. So you take it, month by month. And then here's what's going on in the market. And they click here and it takes them right to the infographic, right? So it explains, here's what's going on in the market. I don't go into a lot of detail because I want them to email me back so we can have a conversation. So snippet, right? Give them a little so that they're emailing you back. And then my bottom thing is, here's my top home favorites, right? So I give them 3 things. I typically try to recommend a local restaurant or a local home decor place because I'm in love with home decor, so I tend to do that. So one local, one thing that they can order like off the internet. And then I typically try to do like an Etsy site. So I'm big on small business. So I try to go in there and like say something like, hey, here's something I found and loved. If you want, go check it out. And then just at the bottom, my name. So simple, keep it, in your voice, and then it automatically sends out every month. Sometimes when I have like a slow day, I'll go in and I'll just create the whole year. I want to create the whole year. Have it set up so you don't have to think about it, right? Ease. And then if you really, really, really don't want to think about anything, there's a company, I have it on this take home for you guys, and it's called the Monthly Agent Social Club. Has anybody heard of it? No? So she is a former real estate agent, and it has everything for you. When I say everything, everything. It's $69 a month. It has, to the point where she gives you a content calendar for social media. She gives you 4 different holiday guides for throughout the year. She gives you a monthly newsletter template. And then you can go in and, make it your own. She gives you all the pictures. She has a photo library for you to choose from. So it's like everything and anything you can think of social media wise, she has it on there. Buyer's books, seller's books. I don't use those. I pick and choose what I want from there. It's typically social media. Yeah.
Will she post things on social media for you if you ask? or you
No.
have to do that?
No, so she is just like, it's a online account that you have. So no, she doesn't do that for you. You'd have to find somebody to do that. But if you use things, I don't know if you guys know about like Planoly. Have you guys heard of Planoly? Yeah, so if you go into Planoly, you can actually like set up your postings for weeks or months at a time. And it'll do it to, Instagram, Facebook. So you can literally take it from there, put it in there and be done.
I'm just not sure how to get people to see that.
Like to build your following on social media.
I mean, I've got that part, but I mean, if people respond to it, that's the rest.
Do you mean like social media or do you mean like your newsletters?
Yeah.
Social media is a whole other animal that will,
That's what.
yeah, we'll have to do one just on that. Because I think social media, it's organic. you know, it's asking the questions. I mean, I think you have to go in and respond to other, there's a whole algorithm to
And
it.
that's what, I don't,
Well, then we'll do one of those on that.
Actually, Jen, so,
Yeah. Or Chelsea.
next week for the fireside chat. Excuse me, my health program. For the next week's fireside chat, we're bringing in a company called SB Consulting. And I hired them back in December. And what they do is they'll go in and do a Google cleanup for you, which is fantastic. But then they also do Facebook and social media stuff. So what they do for me now is they post to they create the content and they upload it to Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn for me. And they do up to 8 or 10 posts per month. So they're gonna come in and pitch their services. So if you're not great about posting to those things, or you need help with content of them doing it for you, they charge, but
That's the pricing.
yeah, like 149 a month for it. So, yeah.
Okay, so that's monthly. Quarterly, I like to send out, send out, stop by, it's called a pop by. And it's a small but impactful gift that relates to referrals. So not everybody likes to tell people. I mean, if you follow Brian Buffini, it's like, oh, by the way, like that is not my gig. Susan and I have worked on this for years. It is not my jam to be saying like, if you know anybody that needs to buy or something, like they know. So you're right, like we don't need to tell them. So I try to figure out a different way where I'm giving them value, right? So it's all about giving them value. And then they will in turn want to refer me to their people. So that's through Popeye. Now how it can be done, I have examples. So like this is my one that's going out next month. And like I said, Susan, her and I sit down and we typically map out my year for this, and I just have them all printed with a local printer, and it's pretty easy. So it's this card, right? And it says, shout if you need your realtor for life. So I always put your realtor for life on my thing, and then I'll answer my phone, hey, client for life, like just that's my thing that I do with them, right? So this gets printed, and then I'm literally sending them 2 shout wipes. This is it, okay? Goes in a thing, it gets sent out to them every quarter. My top like 15 people, I will drop it to them, okay? So you obviously have to make your list. But for me, mailing just makes it a little bit easier for me, but hand delivered. And I would say if you could budget about $300 to $400, I think this is super impactful because it gets to them. They typically always text me. I will typically always receive a text from those clients, and then it starts engagement, right? So this is a big one. If you don't want to contact Susan and you like to do everything on your own, Canva, you can make them in Canva. You can get it printed through Canva. It'll come to your door. Go on Amazon or Etsy, find your little gift, and then send it out. So it's just top of mind. Like I said, I do my whole year in advance, order all the crap, keep it at home, and it gets sent out, quarterly. That's a big one for me. That's probably one of my favorite things to do.
Hey,
Okay.
Jen,
Yeah.
do you have the samples that I sent?
Oh, yeah, there's more here. Sorry, they're on the table. You're for referrals.
Just
need
so
a
they
lot
can-
of things, right? Just popping by to say hi. So you put a thing of popcorn, right? I use these, and I'll show these later. I've got the inside scoop on your local real estate market. So then you send them like ice cream scoop. Like things that they're gonna use and pick out, right? Thank you for helping my business grow. And seed, like packets of seeds, go with it. Keep it simple, but just so they know that you're still in real estate and you still need them to refer people to you. Right, Suzel?
That's right.
Right.
It's just,
Okay.
those were some that I had around. I've done tons. So a lot of people who do the Popeyes look for items either on Etsy or Amazon, or when you're at Target, and you see something interesting and they, you know, they can get it for inexpensive clearance, get a bunch of them. Then we'll create a pop bag and a little fun tie-in, you know, with words, and we'll tag to whatever that thing is that you found that is going to be.
Yeah. I think that's probably one of my top things to do to get people to talk to me, and then just remember, you know, I'm in real estate. And then every 6 months, I send out what's called the biannual, it's the Metro Phoenix Economic Snapshot. Do you guys do this? Seen it, heard of it? Okay, so I think this is a great bang for buck. They do it in January and July, right? And there's different options, okay? You can have it printed, right? So I have examples here for you guys. You can have it printed and sent to your clients, or they can just email it in like a newsletter format. I prefer the print. I'm old school. I think people like getting shit in the mail, you know. They just like to have that feel. But what's really cool about it is they've got great articles in here. Tina Tambor writes for them. So it's not just me telling them what the market is about, right? They're hearing it from a local expert. They will have charts, all that crap in there. Then they also have like, they'll throw in a recipe here and there. But what I think is really great is that Tina Tambor writes for them. To me, that's a huge thing. And then on the back, obviously you can brand it right to yourself, and you can leave a little message to your clients if you want to. And then you can pick a geographic community to give the numbers on. So like if you're farming a certain area, you would always pick that community, right, to put in here so they can see the numbers.
So Jen, is that stuff that you cut and paste into a template, or is it pre-designed?
They pre-design it.
Okay.
They email me in December and say, hey, are you gonna do this again in January? And I say, yes. Then they'll email me, here's your design, what do you want to change? And I'll say, I'm gonna change this or that. Do you need to update your email list? Nope. And then it's done.
Nice.
They mail it, they send it, they'll email it, it's done for you.
And where do we get that?
So that is on this thing here, Prime Source Printing.
Oh, I love that source. That's my fave.
Yeah,
That is
yeah.
great.
So for them to send out 100 of these and send the newsletters is $2.95 every 6 months.
Wow.
Yeah, people love getting this. Like I said, so when you're on social media or in your newsletter spouting about the market, they're also reading about it here. So it just solidifies that you're competent in what you do. Questions about that? I like that. Yeah, it's cool. It's a good thing. Okay, and then it's the yearly client event. So I do one big party every year, and then I do one charitable event. I'm just going to talk about the pie party for today because I don't want to overwhelm anybody. But, and I know that you do one big event as well. But this event is worth its weight in gold. You do not have to do it to the scale that I do it. I'm crazy. I like food, so mine's a bit nutty. You can keep this super simple and it's super impactful. And I'm sure Sarah will even tell you how impactful it is as well. So every year, the Saturday before Thanksgiving, I host a pie, I call it a pie event. My mother happens to make all the pies for my clients. Okay, this invitation gets sent out, they get an RSVP. They have to RSVP with the kind of pie that they're picking off of our list. I have a bunch of food. Again, my mother makes it all. She's amazing. We had about 125 people come through. Yeah, and they look forward to it, right? So
What do you do?
at my mom's house. But I'm adulting now, people. It's gonna be at my house this next time. It's personal, right? So like my parents have gotten to know them, my husband's there, my kids are there, my husband is schmoozing with my clients just as much as I am, because it's kind of like a wedding, like you can't be everywhere, right? So he's over there talking to them. It is great, and people look forward to it, and I'm telling you, you typically walk away with at least a handful of referrals by the time the event is done. Just because they're like, oh, I know so-and-so, or I'm so glad that you called, or I can't wait to see you, and then they talk about real estate. I've been doing it, this will be this one coming, 2022 will be the 10th year, but I've done 9 of them. First and foremost, and I will tell you, you have to meet with Susan. She has a tried and true plan for this. Okay, like she has it down to the point of, this is when your invite should be going out. This is when your phone calls should be made. Like it's a process, but I'm telling you, it's well worth it. I promise. So you make your invite, right? You send it out. You do all the work up front. You have your event, you hand out your pies, you do your thing, happy Thanksgiving, blah, 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 how's so-and-so? I mean, spend 5-10 minutes with everybody. It depends on the person. They might tuck your ear off more, but you spend that time with them. And then it's the after part that I think makes the huge difference as well. So like the pie is kind of a moot point. Like, that's not the big thing. It's the interaction that you're having with your clients. So I'd say it's the nail in the coffin, right? So you're texting them, hey, thanks for coming to the party. It was so great seeing you. You're sending them a thank you card. Again, so great seeing you. Susan had me one year take pictures with everybody, and then I made a send out card that I sent afterwards with me and them, in it. Now everybody's starting to get craftier with these events because, posting on social media and tagging me in it. Again, social media is still like the other avenue, right? So it's helping people come to your page and see what's going on as well. So I would tell you to budget between $500 and $1,000 on this event. Mine's more because we make all the food, and you don't have to do that, but it's well worth it. I would be shocked if you didn't walk away, like I said, with a handful of referrals after doing the event. Easy, right? Sarah?
So this is our first year, and we decided to drop off the pie, which I do not recommend. It was a lot of work. But I think originally had like an A-list of like 28 people, but only got like 22 or 22 asked for pies. And I ended up with like 8 referrals, but they're still coming in. Like the other day I had someone else call me and they're like, hey, and it was someone from Ohio. So.
So you just did it, no?
I dropped them off at this next year. You're gonna do something else.
I mean,
It was a lot.
I'm sure Nick would not care if you had it here and had your clients come pick up their pie here. It's where you work. It's your, it's your office. Invite them here. Come get your pie. You don't have to do food. I chose to do food because I'm crazy like that. And then people just get used to it. But you don't have to. Keep it simple. Or if you want to, yeah.
I don't interrupt. I want to throw out to that point because your party can be quite intimidating to an agent. I mean, most of us, our moms aren't going to bake the pies, much less a meal, much less host at their house. Like there's a lot, right? But I had 37 agents do a pie event, including Sarah did the pop bot version of it. As said, she wouldn't do it again. There's a reason that we bring the bus. Out of those 7 agents, the best result far and are still in from in November, but the results so far he's under $1,000. He has just under 100 people in sphere of influence and got 16 referrals.
Under 1,000. under 100 people that he sent out to, right? And he got 16 referrals. I can't tell you enough, and I know Nick is going to agree with me on this. The people you know are gold. And I think if you can portray the people who know, like, and trust you, that you know what you're doing, bringing value to them and just caring about them, especially in our world today, is amazing. They just want to know that they are cared about. They want to know that you have their best interest in mind. They want to know that you know what you're doing. So if you can portray that with all of these different things, your database will feed you yearly.
So this isn't, so the ties don't always go just to your clients. Some of them are just friends that feed you referrals.
Yeah, sometimes, so I invite both clients and people who refer people to me. I mean, there are people that have never used me, but have sent me multiple referrals. And so just to kind of give you an idea, I call this the power of one, right? So I have one client who I met years ago who lived in a different state. He bought a condo from me for $42,000. Long time ago, like, what the hell? He referred Margaret, who referred the Perrys, who referred Julie and Opie, who referred Fran, who referred Ann and Lee, who Ann and Lee then referred the Duparts and the Faldiches, and then they referred John and Mike to me. So out of Evan, just Evan, and me knowing Evan and taking care of Evan, I bought and sold 19 houses from his people, just from that one person. Like, that's amazing. That's amazing.
You're amazing.
You're so sweet. You're so sweet. But like, that's how powerful I think just nurturing your database can be. Because it's not even a question. Like, it's not even somebody asks them, oh, you need to get with this person. You know, and it's literally just training them to understand that you work by referral. My money goes back into you. I'm not cold calling, you know, no like and trust. It just simply goes back to that. So we need like 30 Evans in our life, right?
No.
Not all at once, but you know, that'd be great. Yes. Okay, so before we go to that.
That's a great model, by the way. Thank you for showing that. That's such a fabulous visual to
Oh,
show
good.
the connections there.
Okay, well, that was Susan's idea. So thank you, Susan, for giving me that idea. Yeah, I can share it. Yeah.
I also, can I add?
Yeah.
I visited the open house this year, and me just being a friend and a partner with Jen, I was just kind of sitting back and observing, and people just they just love it, and like they take ownership of the event too. Like, they're there, and it's like it's their event. Like, it's something that I think they look forward to every single year, and they know it's going to happen. And I mean, I've heard about these events, with Jen. I've been working with Jen for like the past few years, but I've never attended one. And I was just blown away. I mean, it was so loving. Like, you literally could feel the support. And if you're able to do it, I'm going to do it. But
Yeah.
it's so awesome.
Well, and I think too, so something that was powerful for me at this year's event was one of my clients was like, you helped all these people. She says this year, and I'm like, oh girl, no. No, she's like, because I was gonna say, like, how did you find time for us? So it makes them think, right? Like, they're seeing all these people that you impacted, and they're like, wow, like, she really took care of us, and she's handling, all these people. And I'm sure that happened with you too. It's like, oh shit, there's a lot of people here.
Well, and they feed on each other.
Yes.
They're like, oh, I bought my house with Nick 15 years ago, and oh, I bought my house. It's kind of like when everybody's buying into a new subdivision and everybody likes each other for the first 6 months they live there, because they all have something in common. You are that person in common, and so they're not gonna come to your party and talk shit about you.
Yes.
Right? And be like, oh, she was the worst realtor I ever had. Like, these are the people that are coming that know, love, and trust you. And sometimes it becomes not a pissing match, what's the word I want? A one-upman. They're like, oh yeah, no, well, I was her client first, and then I referred
this person, and that's why we're here.
Yep.
And they're like, oh, well, I haven't referred anybody, but I will. And you hear those conversations.
Yes, oh, so powerful.
Social proof. yeah.
Social proof, yeah, yeah. I mean, they just need to see that the stuff that we're telling them consistently is real.
You
Right.
should take that screen there and turn it into a button and make them wear their downline button.
You want to know what your numbers are? They're looking a little slim compared to others. That's awesome. So I'm gonna, I was gonna say, I'm gonna have my 10th one, this November. So one of the things, I'm gonna give out a prize for the person who's getting me the most referrals. And I mean, it'll be Evan, but and then everybody will be like, I've got 19 deals from him. And then everybody can be like, oh, I need to work on that.
Jen, I'm, for doing something special for the 10-year, I mean, you're gonna do special things for the 10-year anniversary. What if, and could you go back, could we create like a big tree that we get printed up, that put up on that shows all the connections are?
That would be cool.
Can you imagine some standing there looking at kind of, oh yeah, and then this is how I got here, and then the people I could.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Yeah, get a big one and be like, all you people with just your name
And you could glitter them together like lights on a tree.
or something. That would
Like
be
the
cool.
connections, like from heaven, you can go
Mhm.
there and then you can have other ones going down.
That's a
Of
good
course, I
idea.
like glitter.
It's actually-
Yeah.
They could be lights on the tree. I'll each of them and
It'll be
we have
holiday.
a glitter
Mhm.
stand.
Yeah.
Put it on a Christmas tree.
I mean, you can do what you want with it, right? Do what you want with it. It's yours to make it what you want. It's just an idea, right? And I think for the year, the amount of money that gets spent on the things that I do, it's literally taken care of in 2 transactions. And then how much money are we throwing at shit to see if it works all the time? And it's like, you don't need to do that. Just feed those that feed you. Literally. Literally. Yeah. Any other questions?
Have you done other events other than pies?
Yes.
What other
Well, so I do, in the spring, I do a charity drive. So one year it was, we did socks for Andre House. So I send out a flyer to my sphere. That year I sent out a flyer and a bag, and I just said, here's what we're working on for springtime. Andre House needs socks. I will come get them from you. I don't go get them anymore. So it got to be a little too much. So now they come to me. But we donated, I think it was like 1,500 pairs of socks to Andre House with that. And they were asking people they knew, like one lady, her daughter was a teacher and she had her class get involved. So I went to the school and picked it up and like took pictures, like it was really cool. So that's the other thing I do. So fallish and then springish. But like, if
I have 2 agents right. I have 2 agents right now that are planning client events. They didn't do pie events. They're doing something in late February. So they're working on that right now. The thing about the pie event is the timing of it usually coincides when your business goes down naturally. And it gives you, that's when you have time that you could be making calls that ultimately lead to the referrals. But if it's other time of the year, absolutely fabulous. Generally hitting you at a time where you're more seasoned and it's harder to block off time it takes to call all people.
Yeah. Yeah. Pick your poison. It doesn't have to be pie. Pick what's fun to you.
I did poinsettias one year,
Yeah.
and I went to Costco, the big ones at Costco, and we bought like 50 of them, and we had them in our office. And I said, come by and pick up your poinsettia. We have it, there. Got rid of all 50 of them that week,
Mhm.
and it was a great way to like say hi and see people. We've also done movies or rent out the movie theater. If you rent out the movie theater downtown here, it's like $1,000 to rent out the entire theater. You can seat 300 people in there for $1,000. So a good movie, and then you even talk to them for like 20 minutes before the movie. So
Absolutely. I think it's I don't know, this is just a good way to do it, in my opinion, and have other people work hard for you that way. The stuff that's here is for you guys to take. So this just has the info for like the people that I use for the things. And then Susan made, again, kind of the how to build your sphere. And figure out who do you want to pop by or mail to. Because like I said, sometimes you can't do it all, but at least sending it is worth it. So on tap for February, how many people in here use RealVolve? How many people have RealVolve? Let's go with how many people have RealVolve.
I want to see this.
Okay, have and use, two different things. So I think I've said it multiple times throughout this, tech is not my thing. So when I first got RealVolve, I was like, what the F did Nick sign me up for? And then a year later, because I had it for a year, and I realized, okay, I figured out how I like to use RealVolve. And I think that's where this can be helpful for you guys, is figuring out how to utilize the system. Because the way Nick uses it and the way I use it are two very different ways. You just got to figure out what works for you. And then again, it can automate things to give you back time and to mitigate the amount of phone calls that you're getting from your clients. That's what I use it for. I was like, okay, I can't hire an assistant yet. So what can I do to mitigate the amount of people who are contacting me? I can educate them. So I'm going to use RealVolve to educate them throughout the process.
In preparation for this, if we don't yet have it, but are planning, is it best to get our stuff input, or are you going to go over how to get started with it?
So
When we start this?
I think there's a couple different ways we can do this. I know Christian and I talked and even said we can just start having RealVolve masterminds here and at least get the front part handled. So then we can go through like the different workflows that are being used. Or if we need to start at square one, we can start at square one and getting your contacts. And it's kind of whatever works for you guys is what we'll do.
Can you give us an example of how you're reducing the calls and saving time?
Yeah.
Yeah. What do you mean by that?
So, okay, so I use RealVolve, like I said, to educate throughout the process, right? So as soon as I get a buyer under contract, so buyer, so I have a buyer plan, right? A loan buyer, not cash buyer, loan buyer. And you know how typically you say, congratulations, you got the house. And they're like, what's next? And you're like, oh, I'm gonna send you an email because Lord knows you don't want to write this all down. I'm gonna send you an email that goes over the next steps, right? So I have a pre-canned email, it legit is like this long, and it says, congratulations, here's what next. And it lays out. The title company is gonna be calling you. We're gonna get your inspection set up. Here's who I recommend. If you don't want to use them, who do you have? And please get them to me within the next 24 hours. Here's your next step for the loan process. Please make sure you get this information to your lender, right? So that's like that email. And then 2 days later, I send an email out that says, hey, we got the home inspection all set up. Here's what happens at the home inspection. And I lay it out. Every house is going to have 15 to 20 things wrong with it. You're not buying a new house, and even if you were, there would still be 15 to 20 things wrong with it. And how I'm saying this to you is exactly how I write it. Here's what the inspector is going to inspect. And I have a PDF that says, these are all the different things that the inspector inspects. If there's anything not on this list, please reach out to the inspector and let him know what we'd like him to look at. I don't ever get a phone call on an inspection, and the inspector always says, "Your God, that was so easy." Like, they knew what to expect. Just, you have to tell them, right? But don't take a 20-minute phone call. It's okay to send it this way. You know, and then a couple days later, it's like, hey, make sure you get your homeowner's insurance handled while we're in our 10 days to make sure it can be insured, you know, and send that over to your lender. And then, like, once the Binzer gets sent off, it says, all right, break out your prayers, wine, chocolate, whatever works for you. We got 5 days. It's going to take them 5 days to get back to us. Trust me, if they get back to me earlier, I will reach out to you, but no need to reach out. You know, they got 5 days. So it's just mitigating the amount of calls and texts that are coming at you. So it's like through the whole process. That works for me.
And it works for, and the workflow for sellers is very similar too.
Mhm.
You know, it's like you take a new listing and it's gonna send out an auto email that's like, hi, we need you to fill out the spuds. And it automatically attaches a blank set of spuds to the email. And then it says, hey, you need to call, you need to call your insurance company and get us an underwriting report. And so to Jen's point, from the transactional side point with Realvolve, it takes away so much of the repetitiveness of our industry, of the things that we do, and shortens it so that you can focus on other things. On the client standpoint, this is where Jen and I are going to work together to help her bring her more technical, is because a lot of the stuff that she does, like reaching out to the clients or texting, or like even like when a couple of years ago when I rented out the movie theater, it was like they got an email about the event, they got a text message the day before, hey, Lion King lovers, don't forget tomorrow's the event. Here's a link to the directions on how to get to the theater. And then like that morning, like, did you drink your orange juice? Because today we're going hunting, or and then afterwards, it was so great to see you. But that was all automated in the system so that I didn't have to do it. So it's a way for you to reach out to your clients more frequently. Even like one of my favorite workflows in it is I have 6 text messages that go out during the year at random dates. And it's like, January 14th, hey, you filthy animal, did you change your air filter this month? Nobody wants a dirty house. And you'd be surprised people will respond back to that. And sometimes it's like, yes, I change it every month. And then sometimes it's like, I have an air filter.
Yeah.
And then a couple months later, it's a, hey, this is your father speaking, go change your smoke detector batteries. And it's totally randomized.
Mine's a little different. So I do a 12-month email to a new buyer, and every month it hits them and it's like, hey, you've been in your house for a month, what's going on, blah, blah, blah. Second one is, hey, I'm a foodie, what local restaurants have you found? So, getting things to have them email you back again to kind of start that conversation, and then once it gets to month 12, it's like, it's been a year, I'm sure you want to know how much your house is worth. So then I send them out a CMA, I just at their 1 year, so they know. So it's just using it to make your life easier.
And if you use Christie, it's the best thing that I ever did in my business, I think, in the last year, however long I did it, whatever. Other than that. But she will put them in Realvolve for you and use them if you ask. I mean, we haven't gotten temporaries and those things, but she'll do them for you. So a lot of that will be taken care of.
Yeah.
And in January, she will send out all the people that did close, again, throughout the year, a copy of the stuff.
Making it work for you guys, making it easier.
Are any of these things templates that are in there, or you have to create your own?
In Realvolve, they have some. I made my own just because I wanted to do different things. But yeah, there are some, right? There's canned ones.
There are, and we took all of the workflows that I created and we made them private but public. So I can give you the code and you can upload it into your system. You'll want to then go in and edit it.
Yes.
In your own voice and whatnot, but it's there. So Our plan this year is to do building blocks with our education. So like last month having Susan, this month having Jen take those referrals and, you know, what to do with it. Next month, we're gonna talk about how to actually implement some of this stuff using real vol. So I'm super excited. Our whole goal of the brokerage is to take great agents, good agents and make you great, and great agents and make you rock stars. So depending on where you're at in the platform, we look forward to having a bunch of rock stars next year.
And reach out. My info's on there. Like, you guys, I'm more than happy to share templates, send you whatever. Like, we can collaborate. I was, there's enough business out there for everybody. Share, share, share.
I'm using a lot.
No, but I
That's
need
got
to.
it. Yes,
Mhm.
you're in my life.
Mhm. I don't, but see, that's on my list this year. Mhm.
That would be a cool one.
Yep.
HomeBot is phenomenal. If you're not using HomeBot, it's really good.
What is it? I don't think.
Think about it, the HomeBot is basically a customized Zillow report for your client. It will email them once a month. It will say, here's the value of your home. It's an algorithm like every other algorithm out there. But what's cool about it is that you put in your client's loan amount. So it tracks, I don't know how it does it, but it tracks like, you know, oh, you made your payment this month, when I have this much equity. And here's how much, you know, equity you have in the home. And if with this equity, you could buy a second home, or you could, you know, refinance, your rate's high. Would you want to connect with the lender and maybe get a lower rate? If you were to rent out your house, here's what the rental score going in your neighborhood. If you wanted to Airbnb it, here's what it is. And that goes out every single month. It's a George Foreman grill. It's a set it and forget it. But I would say out of the 400 clients I have in it, I would say at least 25% of them open the email every single month. That's great. Which is, you know, pretty good.
Yeah.
So,
That's all I got.
was this helpful?
Yeah.
So it was excellent.
Yeah,
Great.
yeah.
Thank you.
So
Yes.
we recorded this, so I'll throw it up on the Facebook page for us. And then Jen, can you get us the PDF? And
Yep.
we'll throw that up there as well.
Yep.
So big snaps for
Yeah,
Jen.
thank you, Jen. Very
You're welcome.
inspirational.
Thank you.
There's some more salads in the back because the pregnant lady ordered 2. And
Yeah.
Yes, I like it.
Wes said he was coming and then didn't, so.
Pregnancy brain.
Not by choice.
Can I make a quick announcement?
Yes.
I think I hit are some of the people I thought were interested, but I'm officially now taking over the monthly historic realtor tour. So we're gonna have a Facebook page, so if you're not a listing in historic, you can put it on the Facebook page. So we're working on different things. So if you want to be on the email list, it's not like I know North Central Tour will give you an email every day, damn day, practically to say they're meeting Friday at 9 a.m. But I will do probably just 1, maybe 2 a month. So if you're interested, let me know and I'll put you on the email list because we haven't really cleaned up the email list. So I got the email list and I'm adding to it. I sent it to a couple people in here to say if one of you. So it's the second Thursday of the month. We meet at the University Club, which is 39 East Monte Vista, at 9 o'clock, and it's like mingle, and then they're bringing us breakfast. The sponsors take care of it. There's no cost to be involved in the historic realtor tour. And then at 9:30, we will start. We go around and everybody introduces themselves, and then if you have a need or want a towel, that kind of thing. And then we're going to try to do like about 5 minutes. We're going to try to have all these historic neighborhoods mapped and maybe hit like something interesting for maybe just 5 minutes of everyone. So between 10 and 10:15, we'll actually hit the tour, which is self-guided, and whoever can go on. And that'll be it. Awesome. So, and then we're working on, Nicholas is working on the Central City, which would be awesome. Very exciting.
Because I love home tours.
I was gonna
I just
say.
love them. They're the best.
I do like that. So anyway, so if you want to be on the email list, please let me know. And then I guess we'll do the Facebook page.
Okay, one last thing and then we will be done. Please, if you have not yet registered for the award ceremony that is next Tuesday, please do. Because the chef, if you want to eat your rubber chicken or your overcooked salmon, then we need your resi so the chef can make it. So please make sure that you register for that. I'm super excited about it. It is going to be fancy, so put on your heels, Christian. And
I see what they do.
but it'll be a lot of fun and it'll be great. I think almost everybody is going to be there. So
Oh, awesome.
so I'm really looking forward to seeing all of you. So
Are you able to check if I registered so I don't like register?
yes, at $150 a head, I will make sure you did not
Yeah.
register.
Because I
first.
just you know.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, I don't know.
No, because you will have a choice of, I think it's beef, chicken, or
Okay.
scallops.
So I registered, but we didn't.
Yes, no, it will be a sit-down dinner, with dessert and wine, and it's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And we have fun awards and, I don't know, we'll see if we have entertainment. Maybe I'll be the entertainment, you know. So,
Thank you.
all right, well, we will see you all next week and have a great weekend.
Thank you,
Take it
guys.
comfortable. Bye.
Jen.
Do we have fire signs this week?